welcome to PowerHouse SMART. There's several of you that are either guests or new members, so we're thrilled that you're here. We limited this to 50, and we've got probably 50 signed up, but hopefully they'll be here. But so you guys are going to be the lucky ones that get to see the panel of experts live and in person. And as those of you who are very familiar with PowerHouse SMART, you know that we follow a very structured agenda so that we can keep you all on time, since most of you are busy running your businesses or you own your own companies and you've got things to do, places to go. So we have an agenda. We're going to start with an agenda, and then we're going to dive right in. If you need some housekeeping tips, if you need to use the restrooms, Brooke, they're on the corner.
Back and to the left.
Okay, and then also breakfast is over here if you need to get up and refill. So before I get started, actually, I'd like to thank Brooke and Ms. Megan, and whoever else is here from Modern Luxury, CS Interiors, for hosting us today. We're thrilled to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We put out magazines, as I'm sure we can see, so grab as many as you'd like. We've got business cards here as well for Meg and myself if you have any questions. These folders have our media kit for CS Interiors in this. I thought that would be something interesting for all of you to see who we are and what we do here in Chicago amongst the design community. But we are honored to be a part of this. Thank you so much for coming out this morning in this horrible weather. And without further ado.
Yeah, no, that's terrific. And actually, Modern Luxury is also sponsoring Designs for Dignity in our this year, and actually in our Spirit of Design event that'll be on May 9th. So Brooke and I we have a lot of things John, Brooke, and I are working on together. So when I saw this space, I said, wow, this would be a great place to bring everyone together. Plus, since all of you read all of their magazines and then you advertise in them, it's kind of nice to see what's the workings behind what puts out that gorgeous publication of those publications. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And I'm principal and architect of Menn Limited. We're the premier source for architecture and construction excellence in the Chicagoland area. We believe in the design, build, delivery method, sustainable design, and in aging in place, allowing your loved ones or yourself to remain in your living environment longer. I'm pleased to announce that my peers have nominated me as 2012 Moderator of the Year.
Yes, congratulations. Matt.
My name is Matt Wilke. I'm the Director of Commercial Construction and Development at LG Construction Development. We're a boutique general contractor and development firm in Bucktown. So I'm really excited to be here and talk about commercial design atmosphere in Chicago.
Great, thank you. Karen?
Karen Mandel. I am the design director at Unispace. We are a global design firm company that just has started out the last year in Chicago. We have 30 offices worldwide, 12 in North America, and so I hope I can offer a little bit different perspective of what's happening around the world. We do everything from helping doing test fits for real estate brokers and reps, through the design development, schematic design phase, construction, furniture, move management, everything from soup to nuts. We offer everything, a menu of services to do as much or as little, but basically be the client's advocate to help them through the project management phase, everything that goes on in a design project on a commercial level. We're 100% commercial.
Great. And Karen will enlighten us some more when we do our panel. Bill?
Hi, my name is Bill Mass. I'm principal of Mass Realty, which is a small boutique commercial real estate firm, specializing mainly in the office and industrial area, but do some retail work as well. But I am an advocate for the tenants. I don't represent any product. I only have an allegiance to the tenant, and their fiduciary responsibilities is where I focus. So I'll tell you a little bit more about the market, but I look forward to working with any of you.
Great, thank you. We're thrilled to have you. Anne?
Hi, my name is Kustner. I'm an architectural lighting designer. I've had my firm for 19 years. And we do work coast to coast. Half of our work is high-end residential, the other half commercial, spanning from retail to municipal, university work, corporate, houses of worship, anywhere in between.
Wonderful, thank you. George?
Hi, good morning. My name is George Velazquez. I'm principal for Integrisys, a company that offers technology solutions, complete turnkey design build solutions for our clients, both commercial and residential. I think our mission statement, simply stated, says it best, is to enhance the quality of life for our clients, both commercial and residential, by providing the best-in-class technology solutions. And we do this by coupling a couple of things, not only the technology with audio video distribution, and home automation, and security, access control, all of those wonderful elements, but also our passion for technology with our people and really supporting our clients. And so, love to be here, thank you, and look forward to working with you.
Let's talk a little bit about trends. So I told you a little bit about the fact that the trend is for corporations moving from the suburbs back to the city. The leader in that is technology firms. Technology, companies like Google, Groupon, and so on. Those technology firms and the technology incubator that was developed that's located over at the Merchandise Mart are really the drive to bring companies back to the city. And we saw Google earlier this year take 570,000 square feet of office space over at the Merchandise Mart at rates that we haven't seen in, I don't know, that I've seen in my 25 years of real estate here in the Chicagoland area. So it's really a drive. Companies are really focused on their employees. They're focused on trying to deliver amenities to their employees. There is still a bidding war for engineer types to work at these technology firms. And so they're trying to bring those creature comforts back to their employee base. Very similar to the dot-com era that we experienced in the late 90s and early part of this decade.
You're going to see some common threads amongst what we are all saying here. The biggest thing that I feel and that I see happening here in Chicago, and I'll talk about that first, is 3 different factors that are affecting the climate of design in Chicago. The first one, as Bill had mentioned, is how space is being used. The second one is the integration of technology within the space, within the furniture in the space, and then the third is socialization, how people are working amongst one another. Those are the 3 biggest areas that are changing. So the first one, changing how people are working. People are using less space. There are conference rooms that are being used as a hub, as an area for people to get together. Why? Because the private office is no longer on the window wall. That the executives are moving more to the and I'll call them workstations, when we get to that in a minute, the work areas that are out in the open area. The reason why is they want to see their employees. It increases productivity and it increases collaboration. They hear what's going on. The best ideas are happening over getting your cup of coffee in the break room. So the break rooms are changing to be internet cafes, to be more collaborative space where you can go and sit down with your laptop and use the space differently instead of being at your desk.
So I have 3 things that I'd like to talk to you about, 3 things that you don't want to hear about. Energy, lead, permits. So last year, the state of Illinois was the first state to adopt a statewide energy code. So the 2012 IECC, International Energy Conservation Code, it was originally supposed to go into effect last July 1st, but through some work with some associations and lobbying efforts, we actually got it pushed back. Unfortunately, it went into effect January 1st. So we are all have to work with that, both on the residential and commercial side. So if you opened up the code, Chapter 4 is dedicated specifically to commercial energy efficiency. The chapter details everything from code requirements, the building envelope, fenestration, HVAC, and lighting design. I'm recommending that anybody that is doing any kind of commercial design pick up the new code, study Chapter 4, and then have a general idea of what's involved with it, so that when you're working with your other partners, whether it's your mechanical engineer, your lighting engineer, they understand, you understand what's involved. Number 2 is lead. As most of you know, I'm the national director for the National Association of Home Builders, and I personally worked for the last 5 or 6 years with NAHB fighting the initiation of the RRP, which is renovate, repair, and paint law that went into effect in May of 2010. Well, last year we found out that the EPA wants to extend that and make it a viable thing for all commercial buildings. And they are thinking of enacting that by 2015. So one of the things I'm recommending is that everybody go out, get involved, and try to fight this if you're doing any kind of commercial work.
Oh, your slides? You bet. There you go.
All right, so from the construction standpoint, the atmosphere of the commercial climate, we're seeing a lot of design-build type of collaboration going on. And you see that, you hear that term being thrown around a lot, design-build. What does it really mean? It truly is the architects are controlled by the contractor, and agreements can kind of create this team structure in front of the project versus traditional system where you design, and you bid out the work, and you start the construction. We do a lot of work we consider design assist, where the owner still will have those design contracts directly under their umbrella, and we don't technically hire the architect and designer. And we're seeing this increase in this type of structure because of the time constraints that are increasingly becoming tighter and tighter and tighter in the commercial construction world. Especially in the hospitality industry, everybody wants their doors open as soon as possible to start making money. And landlords are increasingly pushing their tenants to pay rent quick as possible. So this is a little kind of graphic showing how the traditional design, bid, and build structure, where the design is put together, you submit for permit, then there's a bidding phase, and then most likely that phase gets extended out because you're over budget, you have to go back to the drawing board, value engineer some items, redesign, possibly even re-permit, and then you finally get going on construction. Where the design assist phase or setup, it's a collaboration from the beginning. And so the contractor involved, you establish a permit set, you know your price, where your prices are at. While you're in for permit with that basic plan, you can establish your finishes, you can establish your wall coverings, all these kind of pretty design elements. And it really, you hit the ground running by the time your permit's issued. And this is a little example on a 4 or 5 month restaurant project. You pick up a month of savings in restaurants grossing $5 million a year, which is very typical in some of these new restaurants, these high-end restaurants that we work on. That's a $400,000 of revenue that they're missing out on. So the value of that is really exponential.
I like that point that not only are they light desk surfaces, which it does two things. One is it helps to bounce the light around, but two is people feel that that space is illuminated. And lighting is half lighting, half psychology, because you want people to feel that they're in a bright environment, even under lower light levels. And we've had to be very creative with the new energy code, just to make sure that people have the amount of task lighting that they need, and then yet feel like they're in an environment that's well lit. So that was actually not part of my presentation, but I saw this and I was hearing what everybody else was saying. I think one of the big things that you probably are not surprised to hear is LEDs, because LEDs is the new messiah, so to speak. And LEDs, although we use them on every project, in certain application, they are not necessarily the solution to every lighting need. And most projects, it's like, oh, I want to use all LED lighting, and they want to use it until they see the price tag. And then they're like, oh, no, we don't need to use LEDs. So we use LEDs, though, in task areas, like in task systems furniture, code lighting, so replacing fluorescence in certain areas, we can use it. Direct lighting, LEDs are best as a direct source, so downlighting. We just finished a multi-floor project in the Aon building, and all the LEDs were, or all the downlights were LEDs. where they fall short at this moment, I'm sure in 5 years we'll be there, are the ambient sources. Like instead of a 2x2 stropper, the T8 fluorescents are still the story. And people think, oh, T8, that's been around. Well, there are super T8s now that last 40 and 50,000 hours. So in our university work, we're like, guys, not the LEDs. Because right now, their 1-for-1 trade-off of a 2x2, for instance, is 4 watts more for the same amount of light. And 4 watts doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking hundreds or thousands of luminaires, you can't do that. It's not there yet. So just so you know, we are using it commercially, but not necessarily everywhere. The second part is, the energy codes. They are really squeezing us, and in a way, I don't mind it because it makes us more creative. But trying to do the value engineering, and because LEDs, they're much more energy efficient and they're great for downlighting, but budgets aren't necessarily always there. So we have to really, when we're reducing the watts per square foot, we really have to put the lighting only where we need it, as opposed to not. And I think one general statement where the biggest impact is those of you who are familiar, and I'm talking mostly commercial spaces like office spaces, schools, is that no longer will we be able to just use indirect lighting because we can't afford the energy to use just indirect lighting. So we'll use direct indirects, and I hope I'm not talking too technically, but where we can use 80% downlight and only 20% uplight, we can use that, but more and more we're getting back into the grid ceiling again. So, here we thought we were, it's kind of like full circle. We're getting back there just because the energy codes. Either that, or we're making sure we can work in the task lighting.
You hear terminology just being repeated. Of course, we hear technology. We hear collaboration, and I think that's been the biggest shift, if we've noticed, just in the term social networking, if you will, where individuals are really spending more time communicating, but the communication platform has changed. And so Bill had a great point, and I took some notes here. You mentioned comfort amenities, creature comforts, how they use their space, trying to, as Ann just said, satisfy their employees, enhance their comfort. As I said earlier, part of our mission statement, to enhance the quality of life for our clients, both residential and commercial. So how do we do that? How do we enhance the quality of life for our commercial clients? Well, first of all, it's by listening, understanding that their way of doing business has evolved, it has changed. For us, it's easy to just talk about technology and pitch technology, and there's so many great things, and you're going to love this and that. But we have to stop, pause, go back, and listen first. And so, very similar to the architects, to the interior designers, and of course, Ann as a lighting designer, we have to listen and understand, how is this space being designed? What's the effect? How are you conducting business? And then let us then come in and apply the proper technology to do so. Matt mentioned, going away from, not necessarily going away from, but enhancing the design build process to more of a design assist. And I couldn't agree more. We've been involved in projects where we'd love to get involved as early as possible in the design phase so that we could take that information and then help the designers make the proper adjustments to the design based on how they're going to function. We